Alright, so today I'm going to cover a very controversial topic. It is the ad wars, you might want to say, between the two major, I guess I'd say they're the two top wireless carriers, and that would be Verizon and AT&t. The reason I want to touch on this is because recently AT&t has been lying in their commercials, basically trying to dispute Verizon and say that they're the better 3G experience when they're not. It's just a lie, and I have the facts to prove it. They say different words, and they don't clarify what they're talking about, and it's very misleading. And let's say 97%, because they use the figure 97% as their coverage of people, 97% of people wouldn't even pick up on it. So, I'm going to touch on it. The first thing that I would like to make a statement about would be that AT&T has 1/5 of the 3G coverage that Verizon has. Why am I stressing 3G? Because Verizon's ad, here it is, you see that Verizon says that they have 5 times more 3G coverage. Okay, well, 3G coverage is much different than regular coverage. Because regular coverage means you have regular cell phone access. It does not mean you have high bandwidth access. 3G is completely different from regular access. Well, AT&T has this ad, you've probably all seen it, where there he is, throwing the postcards all over the orange map, saying how they have coverage, they cover 97% of Americans. They have it there, and there. And by the end, you see this orange map covered 97% with these postcards saying that's where they have coverage. Well, guess what? They are not talking about 3G coverage. They did not specifically say it, meaning they're lying.
Recently, Verizon's been making a big deal about maps. I'm here to set the record straight. AT&T covers 97% of all Americans. It's over 300 million people. In fact, I've collected a few postcards of all the places that AT&T has coverage. This is in no particular order. Spokane, Washington. Denver, Colorado. Evansville, Indiana. Chicago. This might take a while, just bear with me. Lake City, Florida, where the bikini was invented. Huh. New York. San Francisco. Dallas, Texas. Phoenix, Arizona. Atlanta, Georgia.
There you go. They're trying to dismiss the fact that Verizon has 5 times as much 3G coverage, saying that they have all this coverage, but it's not 3G, it's regular bandwidth. Okay. And also, basically, that Verizon map commercial, you've all seen it when it blocks a football game, and the AT&T guy, oh, that's alright, you're not blocking it. It's another example. They're basically showing that AT&T's 3G coverage is basically on the East Coast, California, and a little bit down south, speckled in the central area, and nothing in the Midwest area. There's absolutely nothing in that area. Well, they're just lying to you. Then, of course, there is the wonderful, it is the AT&T commercial, where you see they're testing the speed of AT&T's 3G coverage, well, their 3G speed versus Verizon's 3G speed. And what do you have there? You have him downloading himself using AT&T, using Verizon. Well, the Verizon guy gets cut off right at the neck. So, he's walking around, stumbling around because he doesn't have a head, because it didn't all download. While the AT&T guy is all set when he's done. Well, here's the thing. They may be saying that Verizon is only 80% as fast as AT&T. Well, guess what? That 20%, 3/4, probably 90% of users won't even know, because they're not downloading megabyte after megabyte after megabyte. They may be checking some email. They're not going to notice the few extra seconds. It probably only would have taken 2 seconds if you watched it for the Verizon guy to finish. Well, guess what? That's not that big a deal, considering that Verizon may have a little bit slower coverage, but in turn, you can go 3/4 of the country and you're covered. Versus AT&T, you can barely walk around. And you see that map, the AT&T versus Verizon coverage, they are talking square miles. These little spots, 1 square mile, AT&T. You walk out of it, bam, you're slow as hell again. It's ridiculous. They're just lying. And some people say, well, AT&T is better because they have the iPhone. Guess what? Who cares? The iPhone is just a touchscreen phone with apps. Guess what? 80% of the people, I'm just throwing these numbers out there. Do understand that. Don't criticize me. I'm throwing it out there. But it's a pretty rough and pretty good estimate that I guarantee you 80% of the people don't even know what an iPhone is. There's so many people out there using cell phones that are above 40 that could care less if they can touch a damn screen. Care less if they have an app to figure out, just see their horoscope. I guarantee none of them care about that. To find out what their stripper name is. I've seen people with that app. Wow. What's your rapper name? They don't care about that. The only maybe one that's probably good is the Geico one. That's the only way I can see. And guess what? You can use these things if you have an iPod Touch. So, why do you need the iPhone with crappy service? Okay. So, now that we have that, let's also state that if you really do want the iPhone, guess what? It's said that Apple's plan, their proprietary contract, I got that time, with AT&T is going to be over soon, meaning they'll be able to port to other ones if they want to and if the carrier wants to get them to. Being Verizon may be able to have it, so if you've got Verizon, there you go, there's no reason to switch. Sprint with their supposed 4G, and I'm not going to make a big deal about that because 4G is 4G, okay? They want to say it's 4G, they can, but they're not lying, giving all this spew that AT&T is. So, all in all, I believe Verizon is the ultimate 3G experience, and I have the Consumer Reports ad to prove it. Verizon is rated number 1, and AT&T is rated number 4 throughout most of them, number 2 throughout one of them. But I guarantee, I think it's every single one of them. Verizon is number 1, AT&T is behind them. AT&T is full of crap. They are so full of it. Verizon, here is the final line. Here is my point of this whole video. Verizon is the better 3G experience.